a way to celebrate 1,000, eh? I mean, at least at least we got a point out of that one, which is better than what I could say for the past, for the Washington game and the Calgary game. Bruins lose 3-2 in the shootout to the Tampa Bay Lightning on Brad Marchand's 1,000th game. You had Patrice Bergeron in the box during the second period, and it still wasn't enough. It still wasn't. Yes, the Bruins started to play a little bit better when he was in the box, but overall, you could have celebrated 1,000 a better way. And really, your captain, who is the god of special teams, a fantastic defensive forward with the 9th most shorthanded goals of all time, and also one of our best power play players. You do, and how exactly do we celebrate them? How exactly do we celebrate that guy hitting 1,000 games? By being completely ineffective on the power play and penalty kill. Yes, we killed 2 of 3, but it's still that we'll get to that one that Allmark let in. And speaking of ones that Allmark let in, let's talk about the first period. First period, Bruins are coming out to a pretty flaccid start, not really doing anything of note. They're sort of just coasting until Eric Chernak, because the Bruins we adore letting in the first goals of players' seasons and careers. Here, we let in the first goal of Taylor Radish's career. We let in the first goal of Connor Bedard's career. We let in the first goal of a lot of players' careers. But we've also been in that team that somehow let in the first goal of Eric Chernak's season 53 games in. 53 games in, and Eric Chernak had not scored a goal. And the first one that he scored was against, and of course the first goal he scores this season is against the Bruins off of a really, really soft goal from Allmark. And I love Allmark. He's been playing well. That is, to put it like Brick said, that is one that he wants back. And to be fair, he did get a few of them back. There was that goal in the third that got called back that we'll definitely talk about. But man, the first 5 minutes of this game, not great. It definitely feels like, as I've said whenever this happens, the game starts, the Bruins didn't. And so the first 5-6 minutes of this game, Bruins are not doing anything properly. But the next 15 minutes, the last 3 quarters of the Bruins' first period is actually pretty damn good. And I know this is remarkably specific, but I would probably put this in the first period in the. I would probably put this first period as one of the best periods that the Bruins have had this season, in which they came out of it with a negative point differential or negative goal differential. Well, yeah. For the rest of the first period, yes, Geeky's line was not doing well, but that fourth line, man, Monty, you gotta play them a little bit more because you get stuff like that. They had a few really good rushes. The Bruins, just in general, were keeping the puck right up Vasilevsky's nose. He could not really get a break, but at the same time, it's Vasilevsky. We know what he's capable of, and tonight he showed what he was capable of. Allmark, fantastic tonight. He almost went tit for tat with Vazzy, but you gotta have that first goal. Oh man, you gotta have it. But notably, to close out the period, the Bruins take it. Danton Heinen takes a high sticking penalty against Kucherov that carries into the first period, into the first intermission. So the second period starts. The Bruins are on the penalty kill, and it's going all right until this. This right here is one of the this right here is the start of one of the dumbest things that the Bruins penalty kill has done all season. Like, really. Note right here that Charlie Coyle is supposed to be covering Nikita Kucherov as Kucherov is centering the puck. And Coyle, he's one of our best penalty killers. So obviously he's going to he's going to cover this just fine, and Kucherov is not going to get. Why are you there suddenly? Why do you have 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 penalty killers right in front of your net, allowing Nikita Kucherov, league leader in points, Nikita Kucherov, 89 points going into this game, Nikita Kucherov. Why is he this wide ass open? Kucherov, man, just kick your feet up. Have a spa day, why don't you? Getting more free time on that individual play than you can get in than you can do when half-assing a skills competition at the All-Star game, my guy. And so obviously, since it's Kucherov, and because as much as we like to think so, based on his performance last year, Linus Ullmark is not God. We're in a 2-0 hole now. We're in a 2-0 hole now. So we're down 2-0, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed because we should not be down 2-0. First goal was a flub on the goalie. Second goal was a flub on the penalty kill. Oh, but don't worry. Bruins get it back to 1 pretty quickly. As in, like, less than a minute later. A fantastic shuffling of the puck from Marchand all the way up to McAvoy, who snipes it from the blue line. Amazing shot from him. It's 2-1. It's 2-1 in Tampa, but at least it's within 1 now. And that's not all we get this period. A little bit later on, in Brandon Hagel, who, by the way, I think that he's a fantastic player. His average is DeBrusque on at his best, and I love that about him. Dude's a freaking clown, man. Dude is a freaking clown. He ends up going for hooking, except no, he doesn't, because the Bruins somehow we end up with a very, very lengthy stint of possession during a 6-on-5 scenario. Imagine that. It's almost like we should be taking tips from other teams about it. Pasta, even Pasta makes a really, really nifty move to keep possession with the Bees. Is Marchand again with a brilliant assist, shooting it across the crease for JVR to tap it in. Man, remember when JVR started the season off with like 5 goals in the first like 10 games? He's at 9, so yeah, he's definitely calmed down. But still, this is what we are paying him for. This man's body is a machine that turns a net front presence into a goal. Just as Brandon Hagel's body is a machine that turns an obvious penalty that he commits into a shouting match with the refs over the tiniest infraction. Let's talk about the third period, shall we? Because that's where this happens. Brandon Hagel, just freaking can openers. There's Brad Marchand, and in open ice, and he's obviously gonna go for tripping on that one, and he's just barking at the ref like, I'm sorry, did you not trip him? Was that not you shoving your stick right in between his skates? I'm sorry, what is a trip? And a little bit later, Eric Chernak also goes for tripping during a 2-on-1 with McAvoy and Pastrnak. Pastrnak fires it on net because Chernak is doing that layout thing, and it works. It works before he intends it to work, which means Pasta does not even attempt a pass to McAvoy. He just shoots on net at Vazzy, and yeah, Vazzy is back to form. Let's be real about it. Vasilevsky is back to form. It's kind of frustrating, but you know what? From a hockey fan perspective, it's fun when Vazzy is back to. It's fun when Vazzy is back to playing superhero, but from a Boston Bruins perspective, it freaking sucks. So we're just gonna say that it freaking sucks that Vazzy is back to form. But in any case, the Bruins. But in any case, Chernak ends up going for tripping because after Pasta shoots, he cuts to the inside and trips over Chernak's stick. And Chernak also barks at the ref for it, which I guess is a little bit more understandable because Chernak was laid out for so long that you could that realistically, if you're going to run into him like that, you really only have yourself to blame. But at the same time, it's called drawing a penalty, and it's something that Pastrnak hasn't been amazing. He's been good at it in points. This is one of the best. This is one of the best showcases of him drawing a penalty that I've seen ever. It would just be great if we could capitalize off of it, but we don't. We go 0 for 5 on the power play tonight. Yes, I know technically we went 0 for 6, but consider this: one of those power plays was given with 2.5 seconds left in overtime. Are you really going to tell me that we were going to be able to score a goal with 2.5 seconds left? And I know some of you are going to say yes, to which I say, screw you, I'm right and you're wrong. Into overtime, the Bruins are not playing amazing. Like we're keeping the puck, we're keeping the game interesting. We're playing well enough to be interesting, which sometimes is kind of what you need. But at the same time, it's Marchand's 1000th game. It's Marchand's 1000th game. You need to put in a little bit more intensity, and the Bruins don't. They never find fourth gear in this game, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating because we've seen them be able to find that fourth gear. We saw it in that Vancouver game. But ever since the All-Star game, ever since the All-Star break, this team has just been not been clicking. It hasn't been consistent, and that's frustrating. It's so unbelievably frustrating. And we get into the shootout. It's basically just well, you saw the thumbnail. You saw the thumbnail, and that's pretty much all you need to know. Oh, DeBrusk misses the net entirely. Hedman gets saved. Coyle gets saved, and then Braden Point shoots it, and then freaking Allmark mishandles it in his glove. It pops up, and the forearm of his stick hand goes back, and he knocks it into his own net, which is kind of indicative of how this game overall went. We were going tit for tat with them. But we beat ourselves. And it was the little things. And it just wasn't there. it wasn't there. It needs to be. It needs to be. And that's going to do it for tonight's game. Thank you all so much for watching. There is a small part of me that wants to launch into a giant rant about Valentine's Day and relationships and stuff like that and being queer, but I don't think that any of you want to hear that right now. Well, I will keep it on my Twitter at ITD Bruins. You can find it in the description. And that is going to be it for me tonight. And we'll see you guys all again on Thursday when we take on the Kraken. Take care.